Hey guys, Gabe from the Minnesota Airsoft Association. I'm here with Alex.
What's up, guys?
It is Saturday, August 8th. We are driving home from Big Lake Tactical, which had its MBA, Minnesota's Best Airsoft, op Warlords versus Mercenaries, run by our friend Thomas. It was a good day. Weather-wise, it was pretty nice, hot but not terrible. 60 to 70 players. We're going to talk about the game. I'm going to talk about a couple things on from my point of view. Alex is going to talk about things from his point of view. Let's get into it. Alex, how was your day?
Well, it was okay. I can't really say too much because I wasn't feeling too hot coming in. Somebody fed me a donut. Got me.
Not me.
No, it wasn't a donut, but I wasn't feeling too well, so I kind of sat out, or just took it really easy, and I kind of walked around the field and watched the gameplay. And as far as the gameplay went, it was a good game. I was just watching people play, and I was just that how do you want to say it, the seeable referee, I guess.
Yeah. You were visible referee.
Visible ref, yeah. Visible ref is a good way to put it. And I was just making sure people were playing their game right, and people weren't cheating or anything, which typically is not an issue. But other than that, I went. Then when I didn't really feel too hot, I went back to the staging and just sat there and talked to some people, and nobody really came back, so that's kind of a good thing. So yeah, for me, that's pretty much my day at this game. So yeah, other than that, Gabe, you should probably wrap it up with your...
All right, wrap up. We have so much to talk about. I don't know if we do. So I actually came intending to play, and I didn't play really. I was more, I don't want to say player ref. I was embedded. Like last weekend at Twin Cities Airsoft's Ghost Directive high intensity game, I swapped roles. I played both teams as needed. I did bring a gun, but mostly I ran my launcher to be anti-vehicle. There were 2 Vics in play and 1 ref vehicle.
Did you get any vehicles?
Yeah. I did. I shot a lot, but I did what I needed to help other teams. So here's the thing I'll say. This was a game. So Thomas, who organized this game, he did Viking Raid. He's going to do Fall Drug Wars. So he's running events at the fields for Travis. He plays a game where he runs more like a player ref. So he's running the game, but he's also playing. At this game, he was playing as a third-party NPC role. So this was Warlords versus Mercenaries. The Warlords were the teams, which was green versus blue, and Thomas and David from Project Echo Airsoft and a very small group of guys played the Mercenaries. So they were the NPC kind of dedicated op for. I've said it before, and I'm just going to say it again. I don't like that because it can be very confusing for the players. Players are already really confused by IFF. Like, is that guy blue? I don't know. Is he blue? What do you look at? What do you see? So even though the Mercenaries were wearing orange armbands, and some of them were wearing 2, players just didn't know what to do about that. I felt like the players didn't really know the rules, and we talked about this. Like, Alex was like, we almost need to get in a thing when we're doing the briefings to go, whatever you say, make the players parrot it back to you, right? So, like,
yes.
Do you understand this rule? Say it. This rule is this. What does that mean? This. Like,
you can't shoot the cars.
Yeah.
Like, repeat that. You can't shoot the cars.
Right.
Okay.
So literally, like, parrot it as it relates to the NPCs. Like, I felt like a lot of people just didn't understand with how the NPCs were operating. On top of that, I'll say, and this is what I have said before, NPCs have to play beyond reproach. They are not playing. They are literally not playing. They should be there for dramatic effect, as a mechanism of the game. They can't be great. Or if they're great, they have to be great at acting. or to punish something clearly going wrong. The other team is like not watching their flank. Okay, give them all the chances in the world. If you have an NPC team that is your best shooters, your elitist player, you know, your the fantastic players, and they're just out there dominating the teams, not good. I heard one team say Orange is just spawning anywhere and coming back in and they're murdering us. And that's what they were doing. And that was what the intent was to a certain point.
They're juggernauts.
But like, yeah, if everybody's a juggernaut to the point where, again, if you do something where your players are so mad they leave the field, that's a problem. And Alex already said, from his point of view, being in staging on and off quite a bit, nobody really seemed to be really upset by anything. I did hear some grumbling. So that's just NPCs in any game, be careful. Just be careful as in when you're picking your guys, you know, like Thomas was a shooter and he's a good shooter, but like he was just walking by himself in the open and players just didn't shoot him. And I was like, what are you guys doing? You know who that is? I don't know. I was like, he's got double orange. Like he has points for you. Why don't you kill him? Oh, okay. Like there was a disconnect somewhere, but he created opportunities. Not everybody was doing that. Some people were playing. You got to throttle those guys in. You got to throttle those guys in. Green versus blue. I felt like the teams both had good players, but there were no commanders. Not everybody wants to command. Some people reluctantly command. That's me. Like usually I'll be like, hey, you guys have a plan? And again, I was helping more. Helping. Was I actually helping? I don't know. You guys tell me. I felt like one team had a plan, the other didn't really have a plan. And you needed a plan in this game. And one team had some senior shooters. Shout out, we saw McLean from Dolph.
McLean.
Another guy from Dolph.
I don't know who that other guy was.
I don't know, but he plays with Dolph.
But with Dolph, man, I haven't seen that guy. We hadn't probably played together in 10 years.
And I think he said he hadn't played in like 10 years. Like he hasn't played in a while. So that was something
well,
like...
he does his own thing.
He does his own. So McLean is part of Bad Goat. And so Bad Goat runs 2 games a year. It's his own thing.
Immersive.
It's really immersive. Again, if you don't know about Bad Goat, look it up. We talk about him too. But like he played this game. It was really nice to see him. Another guy from Dolph showed up. Our buddy Andre showed up.
Yeah, it's twice in a month.
Yeah, we saw him at Big Lake. At Crossfire for Batteries Not Included. So it was good to see him again. So those guys, there were factions. The guys who we'll call French Foreign Legion.
Yeah.
Which is, I think they were 5 or 6 guys. They do really good uniforms, like period uniforms, period guns. They like the guy had an M1919.
Yeah, they have an M1919.
A Sterling, Thompsons.
MP40s, I think.
Yeah,
MP4. Stand guns.
Yeah, like either way, like they were running period guns
for their period outfit.
For their period outfits, they ran really tight and they do really well. So those are really great guys. There was Keegan, who was more like, honestly, like a speedball player, and he had a speedball setup, and he...
Was that Pajama Pants?
Yeah, that was Pajama Pants. We're calling you Pajama Pants, Keegan. He dominated. Like, he was running, he was sliding, he did a really good job. But one team actually had lots of sneakers, meaning like sneaky, creepy guys. So they did a lot of behind enemy lines things, and they had a plan. And Blue was really scampering to adjust to that, and the counter was like it was 30 on 30, relatively speaking, 30 on 35 at some point. The Blue team at some point was leaving like 10 guys behind, so that's a third their fighting force was staying behind just because Green kept on probing them. So they didn't have guys out looking for things, and that was the point of this game. HVTs, high-value targets, the Mercenaries, if you killed them, they had cards that were worth pretty good points. And then there was just stuff peppered around the field. Oil drums, water bottles, small ammo cans, large ammo cans, like literal glass bottles, actual cardboard ammo boxes, suitcases, like, so tons of stuff worth different value points. And you had to take that and then recover it and bring it back to your base. And where it was at your base was lootable. Green really Green was really dialed in on this. At some point, Blue wanted to try to take Green stuff, but it just didn't work out. It just didn't work out. So I felt like at some point the retrieval of items got lost as a primary. And then the other thing I'll say is not everything got placed after the lunch break. So there was less stuff out second half of the day than first half of the day. And that definitely that definitely came into play as well. Logistically, so I should have brought my red shirt. I just said it the other day, I should just always bring my ref kit. Alex brought his ref kit. He wore his most of the day.
Mine on. We took it off.
Yeah, we took it off, but you had your red shirt at least.
It smelled like onions.
That's because Alex smells like onions. I should always bring my ref kit, always.
And I wasn't even planning on bringing it. I just decided to bring it just in case, and here we are.
It was needed. This game needed dedicated refs, if for no other reason than to start and stop games on time. So first half of the day started fine. Second half of the day did not. And that's because you needed a ref at each base with a radio starting the game, essentially from the game organizer. We just didn't do it. I didn't bring from last weekend, my radio must have been left on. I did not charge it. It's totally my fault. I didn't bring a second battery. Totally rookie move. So I had to borrow a radio, thanks to David from Project Echo for having 10 radios with him. So we did have radios, but the organizers, Thomas didn't have one all day. He did have someone for half of the day. Logistically, we needed to be tighter. And so while I did step out, I still, I wanted to help as a launcher guy, but...
You wanted to play.
I went to play, and I did not, I didn't really play. And actually, after things started, I realized I really should have just reffed. And I wish I had a red shot. I ended up wearing my dead rag most of the day. I literally pulled it off to do something with a team, then put it back on, went to the other team to counter maybe what I just helped the other team do. And I hope that's not confusing, but logistically, I didn't bring a radio. We have talked about it before.
Staff needs a radio.
Staff needs a radio. Say it again.
Staff needs radios.
And you need staff.
And you need staff. But when you have player refs, it's kind of hard to navigate that when you got player refs.
Well, then the player refs need radios, right? Yeah. We just were a little loose on this one. The last game we helped at for Viking Raid, we ran real smooth.
We were dedicated refs in the last game.
We were dedicated refs. Thomas was a player ref, had other player refs. David was at staging all day helping. So we should have planned on that again, but David was planning to play too, and David got pulled in as an NPC. So he was rallying with Thomas when Thomas's radio went down so that we had something organized from the Mercenaries point of view, but we needed one more dedicated ref with a radio, so each base started. Second half of the day, Blue definitely started, honestly, 5 to 8 minutes later, honestly. I was walking and I saw them start to leave their staging. I was like, oh, that's weird. Did they already leave and come back and have to come out? Nope, they were just starting. So that was an oversight on our part. We need to be better about that. Overall, everybody had a great day. You said you heard a couple people maybe calling people out.
There was a couple guys, trying to call each other out and stuff, or getting a little frumpy at each other. And I'm glad I stood there, and as soon as they got a guy, I screamed. I didn't scream at him. Hey, he's hit. He's hit. And then that pretty much cooled the whole escalation down. But that was the only escalation part. I saw people getting mad.
Yeah,
that they were in a firefight and they're like, "Oh, we got you," which is one of those things I kind of hate hearing. But
yeah, and I saw none of it, but also people know who I am now. And so, like, I think, again, visible refs, when you're there and people see you there, they're a little more careful. And they don't gripe as much about stuff. I did have a player come up and he was like, this is happening and this is happening and this is happening. I was like, yeah, okay. Like, all of that sounds fine to me. Like, you didn't like it because you're getting pounded, but, like, all of that was in frame. Now, one thing wasn't, and we rectified that. And, like, we had some guy shooting hot. I was like, what did he look like? What kind of gun did he have? I don't know. That's not helpful. If you think someone's shooting hot or someone's doing something wrong, you got to get more information for the refs. And you need refs. Visible refs. So, what else?
I really can't think of anything.
Yeah, I mean, we talked lightly around rules. And as an embedded, I thought I knew all the rules. I didn't, and I said something and it ended up being wrong, and I corrected it later. But, like, guys, if you're going to a game and you just show up to the field and you're like, oh, what's happening today? Fair, but maybe look at their schedule. Like, this game had rules, and they weren't even that complicated, honestly, but things were confusing to people. Like, here's one. This game had medic rules that were, you could get one buddy aid if you had your own bandage, any bandage, Milsim West or Mirror, tourniquet. You could have bandages, ace wraps. You could have anything. But if you didn't have that, you lost one of your regens. You lost one of your medics.
Was it a tap or was it?
No, it was never supposed to be a tap. Okay. You needed a bandage. People were playing it as a tap, and I was like, that's not the rules. Literally, go and buy a $2 bandage, everybody. If you're going to a game that has medic rules, have a bandage. It wasn't tap. And then you could get 2 tapes from a medic. Medic rules, people were running medic. People were dragging and you weren't supposed to drag. I don't care. I like dragging. I think...
Like drag or assist?
Assist. Okay. Like, you weren't even supposed to assist. If you were dead, you were supposed to stand where you were at, call for medic. You could move out of the way if you were in the line of fire, but you weren't supposed to move. And again, when I was in the area, I called out a couple of people like, you can't move. But people were like, what? Like, what is that rule? I was like, he did say it. I reiterated it.
Saying, like, repeat, like 3-minute bleed out. Everyone's saying 3-minute bleed out.
Yeah, and 3-minute bleed out, people did not, we were reminding people of that. People were pretty good about it, but here's, people don't carry watches.
Yeah, I get that. A lot of people don't carry watches. And,
I get it, but, you're playing an airsoft game where there are rules with a bleed out.
I don't carry air. I just sit there for a while. I mean, and usually it's over 3 minutes. If it was a 3-minute bleed out, I would have been there way over 3 minutes.
Yeah, and, people weren't calling for medic. The medics, some of the medics, blue medics, there was one particular blue medic who was listening for people to say hit. He was like, I'm a medic, where are you? Like, he was really engaged. That's great. That's where you want to be. But, that rule, realize when you're going to these games, read the rules. Just even skim them. The vehicle rules, people played the vehicle rules very well. I didn't have trouble with it. I think people tried to really make their vehicles into troop transports, which is a risky move, because if you get eliminated, first elimination, everyone can disembark. But if you get 2 hits right away, if you have a troop full of people, when the vehicle gets hit, everybody's dead. I saw when people got single hits, people were like, get out of the vehicle, get out of the vehicle. One team abandoned their vehicle, and I had to move it. I was shooting at this vehicle, and I was like, is the vehicle hit? And when I finally got up there, and I wasted 8 index rounds until I was like, I'm pretty sure I've hit them solidly twice. I went, and the vehicle was empty and still running, and I was like...
It was just running?
It was running. So, I got in, and I just moved it. And I was like, okay, team who abandoned your vehicle, now you don't have a vehicle. And then later I found a ref, and I was like, hey, could you drive this back to their base? But, that was super weird to me that happened. That guy's in a rush. He's in a super hurry. So like it takes two to tango, right? Like organizers, maybe we need to say, hey, repeat every rule that I just said. It's kind of tiresome, but like people were playing the game, and like the second half of the day, people were like, what is the rule for this? And I was like, oh, come on, guys.
I think the rule repeat's a nice one. Just like I said, like.
Yeah, I'll be thinking about that next time. Like maybe I'll like I'm not usually giving to be clear, Alex and I have not been running games.
We're just there to support.
We're there to support, to assist. And again, I think, I hope that's not confusing for anybody. I think we've been doing a good, and David as well. David's been helping as well. Like, we're there to help. You might want to look up the, so, like, maybe we'll help repeat and say, medic rules are this, repeat it back to me. So just everybody knows the medic rules. Vehicle rules are this, everybody repeat it back to me. Okay. Here's the main rules. Here's what high value target MVP, or not MVPs, NPCs, this is their responsibility. What are they, like just making sure you're drilling in for that special game. Going back to a previous thing I've said, having standardized rules, there were a lot of rules that were very similar to Drug Wars, and some people were like, oh, this is like Drug Wars. And I was like, yes, it's like Drug Wars. That, I think, is a good thing, and I think Thomas did that on purpose because he's running Fall Drug Wars, I think. We're going to go that way. Oh, Jesus. So, yeah, if you're a motorcycle, be careful. Be watching. That guy was a jerk. Yeah. So, overall, a good day. I just feel like, and this is us, like being used to being doing logistic stuff, helping people play game or run games. I feel like we could have stepped out and done more of that, and we should have brought our gear. Again, Alex did have his gear at least. I didn't even bring mine.
I didn't have my umbrella.
Yeah, you didn't have your umbrella, and it was a sunny day. Yeah. So, good day. Couple things we got to watch out for. Like, I don't know if I'm going to be around for Drug Wars, but I feel like I should be. I'm not trying to say like, oh, things run better when Gabe and Alex are helping. But also I'll say things run better when Gabe and Alex and David and other people, like anybody, just people are there to help run it. Logistics. Doesn't even have to be gameplay, logistically. But it was a fun day. Mid-80s, I think. I'm looking to see if there's a temperature thing in your car. People hydrated. I didn't see anybody. Maybe a couple people got really tired after the first, just before lunch. But, people were drinking. People were eating. People got tired. Because, again, it's a hot day in the summer sun. But, no issues. One guy did mess up his leg pretty good. He needed a Steri-strip. So
somebody fell and sank in the mud.
Someone sank in the mud because they went a little bit too wide. You know who you are. Not making a call out. Or maybe I will. No. Yeah, overall, good day. We're going to work on some things. I'll talk to Thomas. Alex and I and David will talk to Thomas just kind of as we're working through. Good show up. Good to see a lot of the old players like the Dolph guys. Yeah, that's it. Brain dump, August 8th. We're going to go get food. We're hungry. Again, August 8th, 2026. Big Leg Tacticals, Minnesota's Best Airsoft Ops Warlords versus Mercenaries, run by Thomas's. That was Thomas's game. Look for us. Remember, next weekend is Champion Valley's Expedition Alpha, so that's their big game for the month. So hopefully you guys get out there if you haven't been out to Champion Valley, and we'll see you at a field soon.